you go to hell. You've already committed that one sin. Whenever that you were probably 3 years old, you told a lie. No, I didn't steal a cookie. The Apostle Paul, you recall, tried to do this. He had a whole lot on the plus side. But one day he came to Christ. Then he said, what was gained for me became loss, and what was lost became gain. See Philippians chapter 3, verse 7 and 8. The Holy Spirit witnesses to grace today. This is gospel conviction that leads to faith. Actually, the law denies the fall of man. This was the position of Cain. Grace acknowledges the fall of man, as Abel did when he brought us uh, his offering to God. We come now to a new section that deals with the Apostle Paul personally, his experience in Arabia, his experience with the apostles in Jerusalem, and his experience in Antioch with Peter. This will take us through the first half of chapter 2. And that concludes that section. Now let's move on to section verses 11 through 14. Section is entitled Personal Paul's Experience in Arabia. Verse 11, but I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after man. Paul is stating once again, as he did in verse 1, that he is a God-appointed apostle. When he says, I certify you, he means, I remind you, after man should be according to man. Paul did not get the gospel he preached from man. The Judaizers not only questioned Paul's message, they also questioned his apostleship. He was not one of the original 12, but the Johnny come lately. They cast a shadow upon the validity of Paul's authority as an apostle. And as I sit here and I think he had more authority than Luke, James, and Jude, the brothers of Christ. They were not part of the 12. And so that's quite interesting. Paul is going to take up this matter with them and show that his apostleship rests upon the fact that he was called directly by the revelation of Jesus Christ. Verse 12, for I neither received it of man, neither was I taught, but by the revelation of Jesus Christ. Paul did not receive his apostleship by going to school. Neither did he receive it by being ordained or by hands being laid on his head. Paul's apostleship and gospel came directly by revelations, apocalypsis of Jesus Christ. The book of Revelation, sometimes called the Apocalypse, is from the same word. The gospel is a revelation as much is the book of Revelation. The gospel also unveiled to the apostle Paul. He did not become an apostle through Peter, James, or John. He was an apostle by the direct calling of Jesus Christ. Verse 13, for ye have heard of my conversation in times past in the Jews' religion, how that beyond measure I persecuted the church of God and wasted it, and profited in the Jewish religion above many and equal in mine own nation, being more exceedingly zealous of the traditions of my fathers. Paul says, for ye have heard of my conversion. That is, you have heard of my manner of life. Paul now calls the religion in which he was brought up the Jewish religion. Paul was saved not in Judaism, not by Judaism, but from Judaism. Now notice this tremendous statement. That concludes that section. Now we're going to move on